Going to look at a 56 Chevy two-door up in Delaware, and we'll see what it looks like. It's about 7 a.m. and it's a nice day for a ride anyway, so we'll see how it goes. So we're going to Jay Hammond's shop in Claymont, Delaware, not far from Wilmington. And so we're following Jay right now, and we'll be there in a few minutes. Jay's been dealing with Tri-5 Chevys and cars for 50 years, long time, and he's a dealer. He always goes to Carlisle Car Show and other shows around the country. He has used parts, and I came to look at his 56 Chevy 150 today. I'm going to pass on it. But we're going to go up and see his shop anyway and see what he has. So we'll get a chance to talk to him. So we're at Jay Hammond's warehouse, and he has just about everything for Tri-5s. He's got 2 buildings here, and he has a lot of parts at his house where he kept the 55 or the 56 Chevy that I looked at. But he's the guy that has trim, fenders, hoods, and he's got some Pontiac parts, some parts for 58, 59 Chevys that he mentioned he's going to be taking to Carlisle, so he's loading up his truck and his trailer now. But Jay has just about everything. I think these may be the 58, 59 parts here, and some Tri-5 stuff. Pretty amazing the amount of everything that he's been dealing with for the past 50 years. And he was just talking about him going to the Carlisle Spring Show for the past 50 years. So he has gone there since day one. And if you haven't been there, you should go. It's a giant swap meet for the spring show. It's open to everything, and just a huge swap meet. Looks like some window bezels. Let's go back over here. There's a fender that I need for the driver's side. Looks like he's got grill parts. He's got doors, bumpers, and bumper parts. Windshield wash, windshield wiper, and motors over here. Looks like window regulators, more brackets for bumpers. He has everything. If you're a Tri-5 guy, you need to contact him. All right, some doors here. Some are rough, some are in good shape. He's got, looks like 55, 56 trunk lids, 57. Hoods, seats, and these are the front fenders that I'm looking at. So let me take a look closer. So I think I found something that's going to work for me. Here's I came up to look at the 56 Chevy, and then also to see if he has a 55 driver's side fender. And I believe this is a 55 sedan, but I gotta wait to talk to Jay. It's got some rust up here in the eyebrow, which is common. And then on the top side, same thing. But I think everything else on this fender looks pretty solid. Really not bad at all. There's minimal pitting, and it's a lot of surface rust. So let me see what he has to say. I'll continue to walk around the shop. I'm not quite sure what all this stuff is. That looks like a 57 bumper, back bumper. Like I said, he's got tons of stuff. And this is his trailer he's loading up. Hubcaps, wheel rings. Over here. What else does he have here? God, I don't know how he keeps it all categorized in his mind, but I guess by grouping everything together in the 1 through 17 groups, it makes it easier. Rims, beautiful chromies. What kind of rims? Trim. Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff here. He's got a few engine blocks. That one looks like it's complete. I don't know what it is. It looks like it could be a Pontiac. I just don't know. And a tranny. And more engines. Oil pans. Radiator tops. Inner fenders. Yep. Jay's the guy. So he's still busy with another customer, and I will talk to him about this fender. Yeah, so here it is. It's a Bel Air fender because of the trim mount holes, but that's fine. I can fill them in and make it work for my 210. We're heading home. Got the fender here with me, sitting in my front seat of my Toyota Avalon. It just barely fit in the car, but I'm happy that I found it at Jay's. he's got everything. Like I said, I'd recommend if you're building a Tri-5 or a late 50s Chevy, he probably has the parts. And he's a great guy, so check him out. So I'm gonna head home and start sanding down this fender. The eyebrow has got the normal rust there, so I'll have to patch that and sand down the rest of the fender. But yeah, it's just mainly surface rust. Let me close this window, it's too loud. Mainly surface rust, so I'm pretty happy with it because they're difficult to find, and I just didn't want to spend the money for a brand new aftermarket fender. So alright, yeah, I'll get home and start work on that. Well, we made it home and everything is good. Let me show you this fender in a little bit more detail. So here it is. It's just basic surface rust, not deep except in the usual spot underneath the eyebrow and on the top side of the eyebrow. But everywhere else, it's solid. This came off of a Bel Air, so I'm gonna fill these holes, weld them closed after I get this thing sanded down. The bottom foot is fine, really good shape. It doesn't look like it's been bent up. And it's got everything that we need. So that's about it for this. Well, I did look at with this fender. I think it's in pretty decent shape, even though it needs some work. It's about 99% rust free. There's a couple pinholes on it, so let me show it to you. So the fender was repaired at one time, so the lower heel was replaced, and they did a decent job. It's pretty straight. It's a little dimple in there. Have to straighten it out. For the most part, it's in good shape. It looks like at one time it's pitted from rust, but it's still really pretty thick. And up here, same deal. There was some pitting across here. Not bad. And here it must have been knocked in. Looked like they were using a dolly and hammer, a sharp hammer point. But I went over it a little bit with my dolly and hammer set. I used a flat and this flat edge, flat face hammer. So I have done a little bit more straightening out. I did fit it on the car, and it's much better than the fiberglass that I have. So I'm still going to be looking for a driver's side steel fender. And there's a couple guys that are north of me up between Wilmington and Philadelphia that might have one. He was going to double check more pitted area, dimple in where the antenna was. I don't know. I didn't know that the antenna on the 55 had some kind of special mount, but the antenna that I have is just a circular screw down type, and it seals that way. It looks like the eyebrow was repaired or replaced at one time. And that's a new piece in here. Not bad at all. So, a couple pinholes here. I'll have to weld those. Do a little spot welding. Same here. And let me flip this thing upside down. I'll show you the inside. It looks like guy may have had it laying outside and had water. It was just surface rust. So it had been painted, so it was probably sitting around. So this is where the bottom heel was repaired. They did a good job. A lap weld. So I'll put some seam seal in here. And the first thing I'm going to do is sand everything down and put a barrier coat of Eastwood's epoxy on the inside and outside. And then start to make sure everything is knocked out. And I'll put body filler in everywhere else. Where it needs it. It's like pitting in here, but like I said, there's a lot of metal there, so it's minimal damage. Same up here at the eyebrow, at the top of the mount for the headlight bucket. That's fine. So, yep, I think it was a good buy. It was a little bit more than I wanted to pay for it, but that's because I'm cheap. I want to pay and have a budget cost build, but do it the best possible that I can. And that's just the way I operate. So let me get the sander out and take care of at least the inside, and I'll get back to you. I'm going to use 80 grit on this palm sander, which takes off some of the material. So I've got these sticky back discs. I bought a roll of, I don't know, I've got 100 or whatever. For my home projects, I'll probably never finish these in my lifetime. Who knows, maybe I will, if I keep getting other cars. And the nice benefit of, well, the only benefit of COVID is you got a supply of dust masks. So on this area where there were dents and surface rust, a lot of this pitting, what I'll do is, before I put the barrier coat on the epoxy, I'm going to put a layer of body filler over it and then block it to find the real high spots that have to be knocked down with the dolly and hammer. I got it pretty close, but it's just tough to tell. Even with to lay a straight edge, a metal ruler across it, you still really can't tell until I can't tell until you actually put the body filler on and put a shiny surface, so that you can kind of tell where things are, the high spots and low spots. So I'm going to finish sanding this, and then today I plan to, and it's mid-afternoon, I plan to paint the inside either with POR 15 or that epoxy. So I don't know if I have enough of that epoxy paint, but I will have enough for the outside, which I think is important. POR 15, if it's on the inside, or an area where the sun is not going to hit it directly, and if you put a top coat over it, it'll be fine. But if you do use POR 15 and it's exposed to the sun, it will just deteriorate and be no good. So that's the plan. So I'm gonna mix up some body filler. Maybe I'll knock out some more high spots. It looks like it's kind of low in one area. So the spots that do need to be filled, for sure, this is a low spot. And I'll get the dolly and hammer and work that out. It starts from here to about here, and it's just a low saucer type thing. You can see where sandpaper hit the high spots up here, and I'll put a layer of body filler on it, sand it, see where I can find some more high spots. I'll block sand it as a test. Everything else looks pretty decent. I mean, this is certainly got to be filled in. I don't know if these welds they feel like they're low enough that body filler will cover them and they won't be popping up above the body filler. So let me finish sanding this and I'll get the paint. I'll put epoxy on the inside. Epoxy on the outside at some point, and I don't know that I'll get to it today. And I'll use POR 15 on the inside. So we'll see how it goes. I got the fender cleaned. First of all, I washed it down with using Dawn dish liquid to degrease it, and Dawn works pretty well. I have other degreasers, but I just thought I'd use it because it's got soap and degreaser. And dried it down. It's pretty sunny here and close to 70 something degrees today. Dried it off with a leaf blower, and that's like a hair dryer basically. Gets all the water out of the cracks, crevices, and then I let it out in the sun for a half hour or more. Blew it off again. And then I painted the inside with POR 15. And even though it's not rusted, POR 15 is a good, barrier coat, and I have just a little bit left in a can, so that should work fine. And I'll paint it with, the next layer will be urethane primer, and then I'll put a coat of acrylic lacquer. No, it's acrylic urethane, I'm sorry. On the inside. So I've got a can of black acrylic paint. So I'll use it, and then the exterior, I'll wait till the paint dries so I can handle it better, and then I'll start with the body filler on the outside of the fender. So we're getting there. I'm glad I got up to J. Hammond's in Claymont, Delaware, and if you're in need of parts, he's the guy to talk to. He's typically has stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and he has a 56 Chevy sedan, it's a 56 Chevy 150. So he's trying to sell, and his price was $4,500. So it's worth taking a look at. I'm going to pass it up for now, and I've got enough projects going on. So that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you the next time.